Anong latest po mga kababayan? Eto, korte, hinubara ng maskara si Luistro? At korte, nagdesisyon na? Ako po, pinapatigil na ang impeachment ni Luistro at iyak ito? Naku po mga kababayan. Eto, panoorin natin.
Ito ang balita ngayon. Trending at pinag-uusapan ngayon sa mundo ng social media. Ang di umano'y balitang matapos ang ikinasang mini trial sa impeachment proceeding o impeachment hearing ng mababang kapulungan ng Kongreso, tila nangangamoy Korte Suprema na naman at tila Korte Suprema kikilos na sa impeachment ni Vice
Nako.
President Sara Duterte at sal-and issue laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Tinapos na agad at nasagot na ng Korte Suprema. Di umano'y Dilima 2.0 na si Gervy Luistro. Tila sobrang kahiyan umano ang inabot sa Kongreso matapos ang malaking pasabog ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa ikinasang mini trial ng mga ilang buhayang nasa Kongreso. Pero bago ang lahat, kung bago ka pa lamang sa aming channel, please huwag kalimutang mag-like, subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para mas maging updated ka pa lalo sa lahat pa ng bagong video na i-upload namin. At eto na nga mga kababayan, tila sobrang kahiyan umano ang inabot ng Kamara sa ikinasang mini trial o impeachment hearing laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte matapos itong hindi sumipot sa ikinasang pagdinig na pinangungunahan ni Gervy Luistro. Tila nabulyaso di umano ang mga plano nito at walang nahita sa pagdinig. At tila katabi pa umano sa upuan ni Vice President Sara Duterte sana si Congresswoman Laila De Lima at abante. Ayon pa sa kumpirmadong balita, VP Sara, katabi sanang maupo sina Abante at De Lima. Sinimulan na ng House Committee on Justice ang pagdinig sa impeachment complaints laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte ngayong Miyerkules, March 25. Ngunit hindi dumalo ang Vice Presidente sa unang araw ng hearing sa loob ng hearing room. Malinaw na nakaayos sa mga upuan at nakapwesto sa gitna ang nameplate ni Vice President Sara bilang pangunahing respondent sa kaso. Batay sa sitting arrangement, sa kaliwa ni VP Sara, Benvenido Abante Jr., sa kanan ni VP Sara, Laila De Lima. Ibig sabihin, kung siya ay dumalo, si VP Sara ay uupo sana sa pagitan ni Abante at De Lima. Samantala, hindi naman nakapagtigil si Attorney Rowena Guanzon na magsalita na at tahasang tila sampalin ng katotohanan at kahiyan ang di umano'y De Lima 2.0 na si Luistro. Ayon pa sa kumpirmadong balita, si Vice President Sara mismo ang maglalabas ng ebidensya sa impeachment laban sa kanya. Tila kwinestyon ni former COA COMELEC Commissioner Attorney Rowena Guanzon ang pagsabina ng mga ebidensya sa impeachment proceedings laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte ng House Justice Committee na pinamumunuan ni Representative Gervy Luistro. Sa kanyang social media post, giniit ni Guanzon, si VP Sara daw dapat mismo ang maglabas ng ebidensya sa impeachment pero yung rape case ng asawa niya, imbis na ilabas ay tinago niya. Weird. Unquote. Matapos ang tila kadramahan ng Kamara sa ikinasang impeachment hearing ng pangalawang Pangulo ng Bansa, ay hindi na nakapagtigil pa ang defense team ni Vice President Sara Duterte na magsalita na sa publiko dahil paglabag sa konstitusyon kasi at fishing expedition at trial light ang ginagawa ngayon ng Kongreso at tila nangangamoy Korte Suprema ito. Maaring bigla ang ipatigil umano ito ng Korte Suprema ang mini trial ni Luistro at ng mga ilang buayang kongresista at ang sal-and issue ni VP Sara sinagot na sa wakas at may desisyon na ang Korte Suprema. Narito't panuuri ng full video.
Pero bago po natin yan ipagpatuloy mga kababayan, ay naku po, tingnan muna natin itong nagtrending online na ano kaya ang ipinagdasal nitong si Luistro kabayan habang kinukunan ng video. Naku po, umiipal na naman mga kababayan, no? Di ba? Galawang dilawan mga kababayan. Pinklawan, no? Galawang Madam Lenny din. Di po ba mga kababayan? Nakunan kasi itong video na to na before mag-hearing mga kababayan sa impeachment ni BP Inday na itong si Luistro kabayan ay nagdarasal sa simbahan at makikitang binibidyohan talaga mga kababayan na tila ba'y pakitang tao lang kabayan? Pakitang tao lang kabayan? Sa tingin nyo, magkomento nga kayo kabayan. Eto, panoorin natin mga kababayan itong si Jessie Senesa. DDS to mga kababayan.
May video ngayon si Congressman Jinky Luistro na nasa
Yes.
loob siya ng simbahan na parang nagdadasal. Watch this.
All my life you have been faithful. Oh, and all my life you have been so good.
Now, I can't help but wonder, kanino kaya nagdadasal tong taong to? Sino kaya yung Panginoon nito? Kasi the last time I checked, yung Panginoon niya parang si Martin Romualdez.
Kaya may AX dahil ni Speaker. Kaya may akap dahil ni Speaker. Kaya may tupad dahil ni Speaker. Kaya may mga barangay road dahil ni Speaker. Kaya may patubig dahil ni Speaker.
Sasabihin mo rin ba, Congressman Luistro, na may impeachment against VP Sara dahil kay Speaker? Also, ano kayang pinagdadasal nitong si Luistro? Pinagdadasal ba niya ang kapatawaran sa mga ginawa niyang kasalanan like yung pagtago niya sa asawa niyang naakusahan ng rape? O nakukonsensya ba siya dahil sa maletang di umano'y natanggap niya?
At yun lang mga kababayan, di po ba? Itong si Luistro mga kababayan ay obvious na obvious kasi. Di po ba kabayan? Pambira no?
O di kaya ang kapatawaran sa pag-abuso niya sa kanyang posisyon bilang chairperson ng House Committee on Justice sa pamamagitan ng paggawa ng mga rules ng impeachment na unconstitutional daw ayon kay Attorney Guanzon para lang masigurado nila ang impeachment ni VP Sara na last year pa niya isinusulong. Well, I don't know kung ano ang ginagawa ni Jinky Luistro sa simbahan, but this is what I know. Hindi lahat ng mga nagdadasal ay malinis. Hindi lahat ng mga nakikita sa loob ng simbahan ay mga mabubuting tao. Yung iba dyan actually ay mga buwaya. Utang buot.
Tamang-tama ka dyan, boss. Diba mga kababayan? Noon, yung mga dilawan, kung makapagdasal, grabe, di po ba mga kababayan? Sabay tirik pa ng kandila. Diba? Pero, napag-alaman pala natin mga kababayan na yung ipinaglalaban nila ay naku po. Alam nyo na yun kabayan. Pero bago po tayo magpatuloy mga kababayan, eto. Pakinggan muna natin ang napakagandang mensahe ni VP Sara Duterte sa sambayanang Pilipino kabayan.
Nadagok sa mga kababayan, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madayaw ug maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ang patuloy na pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin ay isang mabigat na dagok sa hangarin nating magkaroon ng mapayapa at masaganang buhay para sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Hindi normal ang ating pinagdaraanan.
Correct.
Ito ay epekto ng mga krisis sa labas ng ating bansa, kabilang ang digmaan sa gitnang silangan na direktang nakakaapekto sa presyo ng pagkain, langis at iba pang pangunahing pangangailangan. Sa kabila nito, ang tanggapan ng pangalawang Pangulo ay patuloy na nagsasagawa ng mga programa na noon pa man ay nakatuon ng tumulong sa inyo na makatipid at makaraos sa araw-araw. Ang kampanya ng pagbabago sa edukasyon ay nagbibigay ng tulong sa gamit pampaaralan ng ating mga mag-aaral. Ang bus ng OVP ay patuloy na nagbibigay ng libreng sakay para sa ating mga commuters sa Metro Manila, Cebu, Bacolod, Davao at Tacloban.
Wait muna mga kababayan balik muna tayo ng konti. Dito sa bus na ginamit ng OBP mga kababayan para sa libreng sakay. Tapos yung libreng sakay ng ating gobyerno mga kababayan ay tila ba'y yung mga kababayang gusto pasakayan ay ibabala sa Iran, mga kababayan. Kasi yung sasakyan na libre nila mga kabayan ay naku po, tila ba ay sasakyan ng mga militar, mga kababayan. Di ba? Kaya yung mga ibang kababayan natin ay hindi sumakay. Alam nyo kasi, sa tingin ng gobyerno, sobrang cheap na natin. At talagang sobrang basura, mga kababayan, yung ating sabayang Pilipino. Di ba? Nag-trending yun, mga kababayan. Tapos itong sasakyan ng ating mahal na BP ay nako po, aircon na aircon pa, kabayan, no? At ginagawa to ng Vice Presidente, mga kababayan, ay noon pa. Di ba? Yun, mga kababayan.
Ating mga commuters sa Metro Manila, Cebu, Bacolod, Davao at Tacloban. Ang Magnegosyo Taday ay magpapatuloy upang mapunan ang kapital ng maliliit na negosyo.
Yun
At
lang,
ang
oh.
rice boxes ay patuloy na ipinamamahagi sa mga nangangailangan, lalo na sa panahon na tulad ngayon. Kasabay nito, nagpapatupad din kami ng mga cost-cutting measures sa loob ng aming tanggapan upang matiyak na mas maraming pondo ang mapupunta sa direktang tulong sa taong bayan.
Nako.
Hindi na itutuloy ng OVP ang pasidungog at kasarilayan sa buwan ng Hunyo. Ang mga ito ay dalawang malalaking pagtitipon para sa LGBTQ community at para sa Year 4 Accomplishment Report ng aking termino. Sa halip ay nakalaan sanang pondo para sa mga nasabing aktibidad ay idadagdag na lamang sa budget ng RICE project. Sa mga
Nako po, mga kababayan, no? Ganito. Si BP Inday natin, mga kababayan, magbigay ng malasakit sa kapwa Pilipino. Diba? Inuuna talaga tayo, kabayan. Samantalang yung iba dyan ay nakuha pang magpa-party-party sa Malacanang, kabayan. Di po ba, kabayan? Di ba? Ang bihira.
darating na buwan, inaasahan nating lalong magiging mahirap ang sitwasyon sa pagkain dahil sa banta ng El Nino mula sa Abril hanggang Hunyo at posibilidad ng pagbaha mula Hulyo hanggang Setyembre dahil sa bagyo at pag-ulan. Sa ating pagtitipid, unahin natin ang sapat na pagkain para sa ating pamilya, pagpapagamot sa may sakit, at ang edukasyon ng ating mga anak. Ang pinakamabisang panlaban sa krisis ay kahandaan. Simulan na nating planuhin ang ating mga hakbang hanggang sa katapusan ng taong 2026. Kasama na ang pagharap sa posibleng pagkawala ng trabaho, patuloy na pagtaas ng presyo ng pagkain, at risk reduction measures laban sa epekto ng matinding init at mga pagbaha sa ating kabuhayan. Maliit man ang tanggapan ng pangalawang Pangulo, makakaasa kayo na bawat isa sa amin ay patuloy na naglilingkod at naghahanap ng paraan upang makatulong sa taong bayan. Tayo ay isang bayang may matibay at malakas na pananampalataya sa Diyos. Kaya patuloy tayong manalangin ng taimtim at naway bigyan ang ating bansa ng lakas, gabay at pagkakataon tungo sa tunay na mapayapa at masaganang buhay. Syukran.
At eto na nga, mga kababayan, pakinggan natin itong defense team ni BP Inday na sa Senado ang proper forum kung saan haharap si BP Sara, kabayan. Attorney Powa, pasok.
First and foremost, syempre hindi pa natin nakikita yung subpoena. So I think as a matter of prudence, kailangan tingnan muna natin yung nilalaman talaga ng lalabas na subpoena. Pangalawa, obviously very clear naman sa Supreme Court, no, na ang impeachable offense related lang dun sa mga acts ng impeachable officer during her tenure sa office. I don't even want to say term, just tenure in office. And lastly, even if ganun yung mga nakikita ko, no, please, we have to recall that our objection here is fundamental. It is on the proceedings itself. So that includes all ancillary processes as a result of those proceedings. So,
Including yung mga subpoenas.
including yung mga subpoenas, yung ganyan. No? But I just needed to directly answer the question subpoena. But generally, our case theory here is walang jurisdiction on the mini trial itself.
Yes.
And therefore, anything ancillary that is issued because of that is also unconstitutional in our point of view.
What about on the point that considering that one of the allegations in the complaints is, I think, unexplained wealth? di
Yes.
ba? Parang ganun.
Yes.
And therefore, they need to compare yung current SAL-ends with previous SAL-ends to see if there is an increase or at least a suspicious increase. I suppose yun ang sasabihin nila dyan. Would that not put this within yung scope of the inquiry?
But yun nga yung point namin naka-attach ba yung SAL-ends niya when they made the allegation? Kasi, so kung ganun, kaya namin nasasabi kaya nasabi ng Vice Presidente natin na fishing expedition yung nangyayari because wala kang in-attach So ano yung naging basihan mo nung ginawa mo yung allegation? Hindi ba? Yun lang yung isang tanong rin na parating nasa isipan ng defense. No? So that's why when we said walang ultimate facts, remember? We said walang ultimate
Yes, dun
facts.
sa
Kasi,
answer, right?
now you're saying there's we're talking about, I think they've also mentioned of bank records, etc., di ba? AMLAC, etc. Pero nasaan yon? Nasaan yon? You know, they reference, I think, a list that was given by former Senator Trillanes in one of theirs. So at least, that one masasabi ko, meron silang sinight na list. But itong sa mga SAL-ends, nasaan yon? And plus, yung ill-gotten wealth, if you're talking about 20 years back, tapos lumaki yung SAL-end, hindi ba natural consequence lang naman yan na sana naman while you're in service, dumandami naman yung assets
Well, I suppose
mo.
depende kung
Unless,
gaano
kagaano kalaki, no? But again, that's why we said the other time I was here na to say that tumaas yung SAL-end, nagkaroon ng ill-gotten wealth, that's a sweeping conclusion for us. No?
So again, it goes back to this shouldn't be happening at this level. Dapat na-attach na yan to the complaint.
Yes, and assuming that there are no infirmities in the process and we are before the Senate impeachment court, wala namang problema kung impeachment court ang nagsasabina, di ba? Because that pwede ka mag-move, no? As as one of the parties for the issuance of subpoenas. But hindi pa sa ganitong point. No? Dapat doon na tayo sa Senado so that we can also rebut all those things. Now kasi, na-issue yung subpoena, lumabas yung mga documents, they can make, anyone can make any conclusion as to the documents and paano yung respondent? Nasaan yung due process naman niya to rebut? Will it be sa Senate na when sirang-sira na siya at the House level, at this time? So yun yung mga bagay that we're really concerned about and that's why we already had to lay down our position na labas na to sa initiation of impeachment proceedings.
What about, how long does it usually take? Kung nasa prosecutor's office tayo, where finding of probable cause, usually the complaint, then there's the counter affidavit, no?
And then
And then pwedeng reply, rejoinder. But normally, it would take, they have a maximum, di ba, of how many hearings
If I'm not mistaken, I think 60 days yung
Yung
ano nila.
the entire process
The entire
yun,
process, 60 days. No? Clarificatory hearings, to be honest, sa akin, I've experienced only once. Usually, one clarificatory
Patawag.
hearing,
Yeah.
di ba?
If any. Kasi,
Ako naka-experience
may
na ako na
hearing,
nagpatawag ng witnesses yung prosecutor. But yeah, to be perfectly honest, that was rare. Parang, more often than not, i-resolve na lang on
At saka they
the
look at the
pleadings.
affidavit.
But Attorney Barry, I suppose yung witnesses na tinawag, kasi naka-attach
Yes,
din yung
yung mga
affidavit.
named in the complaint.
Oo,
Yeah.
yun ang
Yung
point
clarificatory
namin. No?
yun,
So, kasi yun nga it is the burden of the complainant to have everything there complete to show that they have a strong case. Hindi ba? And ang part din ng, but again, I don't want to always be locked into preliminary investigation because we also have to admit that this is sui generis. It's
Yes.
an impeachment proceeding. But again, we have our position and that's why now we're really exploring all remedies available to be able to protect the rights of the Vice President.
Do you consider, of course, as a defense team, you want this over as quickly as possible. Do you still foresee an opportunity to terminate this at this stage?
That will depend on the Committee on Justice na sa totoo lang. The possibility of terminating it is maybe, nasabi mo nga, going up to the Supreme Court, but again, that's just a possibility. I don't want to say that that's our move, no? But sa atin naman kasi, kung may dapat sagutin, gusto naman ng Vice Presidente sumagot basta sa tamang forum. And that was indicated in our letter. We said, nonetheless, the Vice President is ready to face all these allegations in the proper jurisdiction.
And that's the Senate.
That's the Senate. So, sa atin, wala naman din kaming objection kung umakit na to kaagad ng Senate kasi marami na rin naman tayong naririnig na meron ng mga numbers. No? Di ba may mga statements na meron ng mga numbers. So, kung meron na palang mga numbers, bakit hindi na lang natin pagbotohan na to kung may numbers na iakyat? Because we've been ready for trial. We're as I told you previously, we were always expecting trial. You know, and regardless what happens, if we go to trial, we will be ready to face these allegations head on and debunk all of these allegations of corruption against the Vice President.
One of the explanations that the House members have been giving with respect to the current process that they're following is they're complying with the standards laid down in the Supreme Court decision, di ba? In Duterte versus House of Representatives. Kasi isa dun sa mga yon has to be clear that each member of Congress who voted had basis for their decision. So that's their justification for going through this extended process. Are you doubting yung explanation na yon on their part? Kasi parang it seems that you're saying na they've already made up their minds and the intention is just to bring out itong mga anong ito.
I don't want to be misquoted with that, no, because hindi ko naman nila lahat. Wag naman nating lahat. I think it's unfair to our lawmakers na lalahatin natin. What we're saying lang is yung due process, again, it's not just providing lawyers, it's not just providing the opportunity to file pleadings. It's also due process, meaning are you acting within the powers that are given to you by the Constitution. No? Pagdating naman doon sa Supreme Court decision, of course, I may be wrong, but my interpretation is, ang talaga namang nag-iba doon is yung fast-track mode. Hindi naman masyadong na-discuss yung yung first mode, which is yung pag na-refer sa Committee on Justice. So this is nothing new. In fact, yung rules na sinusunod ngayon sa impeachment
19th
proceedings. 19th Congress pa eh. So I don't think that was affected by the Supreme Court decision at all. Ngayon, ang sinasabi naman namin, naintindihan din naman namin na they gave us opportunity to file our answer and of course, that's part of due process. But kasama rin doon yung you are not acting beyond what is within your jurisdiction only, which is to initiate impeachment complaints. So I cannot emphasize enough that our position here is any form of trial which we feel is what's going on now, no? Trial na sa amin yung nangyayari. And of course they will have a differing opinion and I will respect that also. But this is our position, na trial na yung nangyayari. At kung trial na yung nangyayari, dapat sa Senado na yan. Where we can also object, we can also cross-examine and test the credibility not just of the witnesses but the evidence to be presented.
Even if at least in concept, the prolonged procedure might actually benefit si VP Sara. In the sense that, ganito kasi, di ba? Parang we're assuming na yung lalabas will be damaging to her. But we can also view it from the perspective na kung ano man yung lalabas might actually convince some members of the House who are actually on the fence or who might be initially inclined to vote for the impeachment to change their minds. Kung lalabas na mahina yung ebidensya.
That would have been a consideration if the defense team, meaning the Vice President and her counsels, had the opportunity to really cross-examine all these people. But again, even the fact of cross-examination, dapat kasi sa trial na yan. And I acknowledge that. No? And that is why, kung ganun ang mangyayari, kung committee members lang ang pwede mag-examine at cross-examine, sa tingin namin, paano naman namin masasabi that it won't be damaging? Because everything that will be presented, we cannot even test the credibility of all these witnesses. Like, for example, Mr. Madriaga, who has also been issued a subpoena. How do we now test the credibility of Mr. Madriaga? And I think the best forum for that is really trial na. So, if the committee has already determined sufficiency in form, substance, and ground, I think all that's left to do is really to go ahead with the committee report. If they feel that there's probable cause,
Submit sa plenary.
Submit sa plenary. There are statements that there are numbers. If that is true, of course we don't want to preempt that.
Yes.
But if that is true, then let's bring it to the Senate, and so the people can also see the defense of the Vice President.
There's a verbal tussle between Congressman Rufus Rodriguez and Congressman Terry Ridon, both lawyers. Congressman Ridon was actually asking for a subpoena for the records of the law office of Attorney Man Scarpio, the spouse of the vice president. Do you think that this is one of those areas where the committee may exceed its jurisdiction?
Well, those are one of the instances wherein it makes us think hanggang saan to pupunta. Diba? If we're already issuing subpoenas against third parties, hanggang saan to pupunta? Of course, I don't want to speak for Attorney Mans, Carpio. I'm sure he has his own thoughts on this matter. Perhaps with Congressman Redon, he's also thinking kasi yung SALN joint kasi yan eh, di ba? Yung SALN. So again, in fairness, I don't want to say may mali dyan. It's not appropriate for me to say so. But ang position lang ng legal team is kung ganun nga, hanggang saan to pupunta, di ba? And that's why sa amin, that's also not part of the complaint, hindi ba? Na may problema yung law office ni Attorney Carpio. Walang allegation na gano'n. So, why are we venturing into that? Now, if they are able to lay down the premise and the foundation, which you do in trial, di ba? To seek for a subpoena, maybe that's the appropriate time. But sa ngayon, hindi pa. That's why ang hirap mag-comment doon sa mismong specific subpoena to be issued.
Yes.
Kasi ang talagang posisyon namin is the process itself. So, anything ancillary to that, we are objecting to.
Okay. So, at this stage, you're really already prepared for a Senate trial.
Yes, we've been prepared since last year, actually. Talagang we have been preparing talaga na maging full-blown trial na to. Because I think, kung talagang papasa ito, of course, as lawyers, mas gusto mo kung ma-dismiss na lang yung kaso.
Yeah,
I mean, let's admit that, no? Kung ma-dismiss ngayon, mas maganda. But if this goes to trial, I think it's also the proper venue where we can really defend the rights of the Vice President and show not just the senator judges, but also the people, the Filipino people in general, na baseless yung mga allegations.
So you think na wala nang chance that the House vote will not reach the required 1/3 threshold at this stage?
I don't want to speculate. I
Okay.
don't want to speculate. Of course, there are those saying wala pang numero, diba? And then there's those saying na may numero. I don't
Very
want to
confusing
speculate.
right
I don't
now,
want to speculate. Oo.
Kasi pa-iba rin yung mga statements from kung
Every
sino-sino.
day.
Oo nga eh.
Oo. So,
If you hang on to that,
sa atin,
mababaliw ka.
we're just ready for anything. We'll be happy kung ma-dismiss na to, but if not, we're ready.
Okay.
Okay, this is the portion of our program where we ask
Even harder question.
Tougher question.
for question provision. Okay, let's begin. Do you foresee that the Vice President would attend any of the other subsequent hearings, if any, of the Committee on Justice?
Ayokong magsalita ng tapos because we have to see the developments. But as of the moment, again, our objection is fundamental. It is on the process itself.
Okay. Your comment on the observation that VP Sara might actually be able to sway lawmakers if she attended the hearing, given her strong showing as the frontrunner for 2028.
Highly speculative. We don't even know if she will be allowed to respond. And then it will be highly confrontational, which again will be a trial in itself. And so that's why our position is sa Senate na lang.
Okay.
Your thoughts on, how did VP Sara react to you being subpoenaed?
Well, the Vice President, I think, feels naman that I can handle things my own way. So, she is
Leaving
aware
this up to
that I
you.
was subpoenaed. We spoke yesterday about it. Siyempre, sabi naman niya, nasa yan, kung anong gusto mong gawin. And ang sinabi ko naman sa kanya, I would like to attend. And if I attend, I would just answer truthfully. I'm not there to perjure myself or fabricate things.
But if you do answer the subpoena, you will be there as witness,
As
and not
witness.
as counsel.
Not as counsel, oo. And if they will ask, if the questions naman, at least in fairness to Congressman Tino, who moved for the issuance of subpoena, I think they were under the impression that as Undersecretary and Chief of Staff, I had so much participation in the confidential fund. So I'm there to just stick to what I said a year and a half back, no, dun sa committee, because yun naman talagang totoo eh. And as a lawyer, sabi ko nga, at that time, imbis na magsinungaling, pwede naman ako mag-invoke ng attorney-client. Pero hindi ko pinili because I thought the questions were fair, it was just factual, and I will just respond factually.
Ito, I think you've already answered this repeatedly, but just to be clear, would you prefer the House to conduct the impeachment mini-trials or just to proceed to the plenary vote to transmit the impeachment articles to the Senate?
We would definitely oppose the conduct of any sort of mini-trial. For us, that is unconstitutional, and that goes beyond the jurisdiction. And in that case, if I were to choose, I would rather it go to the Senate.
Okay.
Well, thank
you,
you very much.
Attorney Mike.
Thank you very much again for having me. Just the day before, the day after everything happened. So
Yeah, we planned this. No, kasi predictable naman yung mga hearing dates. So thank you very much for ano.
Di po ba? Ang galing ng abogado ni BP Inday Kabayan, no? Lalong-lalo na itong si Atty. Powa Kabayan. Di ba? Talagang itong sila Luistro, mga kababayan, ay humanda. Di po ba? Kasi dapat nga sa Senado na, doon na maglatagan, kabayan. Kasi dyan sa House ng mga buhaya, alam naman natin kung anong mangyayari dyan, di po ba, kabayan? Kaya sa Senado na, para magkaalaman na po, mga kababayan. Di po ba? Hanggang dito na lang po tayo, mga kababayan, at ingat po kayo palagi, lalong-lalo na yung mga kababayan nating nasa gitnang silangan. Ingat po kayo. At yung mga viewers natin na nasa US ay maraming salamat po, mga kababayan nating diyang OFW. Mahal na mahal po kayo namin. At God bless you po.